Here we have to solve what's called a compound inequality. Alright, so we sort of have two problems in one here. We have -2 is less than this linear expression, and this linear expression is less than 1 at the same time. We could break it up, use the AND keyword in between them, but I'm going to work this as one problem. Since we do have two problems, what you want to do here is when you add the 1, you have to add 1 to both sides of both problems. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 to all sides of this. That leaves me with a -1 is less than or equal to 1/3 x. Okay, -1 plus 1 is 0, so I get a 2 on the right side over here. 1 plus 1. Okay, so I'm working both of the inequalities at the same time. Next, I can certainly divide everything by 1/3, but I'm going to choose to multiply by 3. Okay, when you do that, on this side you'll get a -3 less than or equal to, now 3 times 1/3 is just 1x. Got a little bit of a shortcut there. 2 times 3 is 6. So what this is telling me is that anything in between -3 and 6 should solve the original inequality. Let's look at, say, for example, 0. Certainly 0 is in between -3 and 6. If I substitute 0 in here, 1/3 times 0 is 0. So -1 certainly is greater than -2 at the same time, less than -1. So it works. Now I have actually infinitely many answers in between -3 and 6. So to present my answers, I can do two things. I can graph and shade in the answers on a number line, or use interval notation. Okay, so here I want to choose a good scale for my number line, and I guess I'll go by threes. 3, 6, 9. Here's my -3 and so on. Okay, now since I have the less than or equal to, the equal to tells me I'm going to use a closed dot, indicating inclusiveness. Same thing for the 6. Okay, and all the numbers greater than -3 at the same time less than 6 means all the numbers in between. So that's what I'm going to shade. Any number in there will solve the original inequality. Okay, now how do you write that in interval notation? In interval notation, since these were inclusive, I'm going to use the square bracket. Okay, so from -3 up to 6, inclusive. That's interval notation, and these are my answers expressed graphically.